Hey everyone, this is Walter once again, and I've got something a little bit different to cover today. Not very different, but somewhat. So around a year ago, the Neckbeard Stories subreddit, Reddit Neckbeard Stories, shut down due to the sheer amount of obviously fake stories that were being posted, and Reddit Tales of Neckbeards was created to take its place. Well, last week I think, the original Stories subreddit was opened back up to posts again. Of course, what this really means for YouTube miscreants like me is that there's a backlog of stories going back years, including all of the well-known classics. Thanks to Moonhorse for letting me know about this, by the way. I'm planning soon to make a video of the worst fake stories I can find, but let's start off by covering something decent first. Anyway, I don't like long intros, so let's begin with Neckbeard Stories from Reddit Neckbeard Stories. God, it's been a while since I've been here. Good to be back. The last time I'll ever agree to live with a rando. I was recently thinking about my experience living with a neckbeard and decided this would be a good place to journal it. My last semester of college, me and friends were planning on renting a gorgeous house. However, one friend fell through at the last minute, so we had to scramble to find someone. This is how we met Ben the Neckbeard. Ben was one of two people who reached out to us about taking over the lease. We had never met either of them, but the other guy had pet rats, which we weren't thrilled about. God, I wish we would have chosen Rat Guy. I understand not picking the guy who has a pet, but rats are actually pretty great. The only real problem with them is that they don't live very long, so that's sad. The day I move in, Ben is already in the house. His bedroom door is open and he's playing Hearthstone. I knock on his door to introduce myself and he stands up, wearing one of those dark robes with the red markings from Naruto. Okay, so maybe he cosplays or is into anime, cool. And then the smell hits me. It was beyond BO. It smelled like unwashed armpits and rotting peas with a healthy dose of ass. It seems mostly confined to his room though, and I'm trying to stay positive, so I'm still willing to be friendly at this point. While my dad is trying to help me move in, Ben starts explaining the rules of Warhammer in great detail to him. Dad is polite and listens, bless him, but keeps dropping subtle hints he's trying to help me and also doesn't care/didn't ask. This inability to read a room stays constant. So now that you've had an introduction, I'll try to bullet point the most striking occurrences of neckbeardism and just being a total ass. He spent 90% of his time at home playing online video games with his friends and screaming into the mic no matter what time it was. When we confronted him about this, he claimed he could not play his games without the immersion provided by screaming. His normal talking voice was also very loud, and he constantly woke us up after repeated requests to keep it down in the mornings. The only girls I ever saw him bring over were Asian girls who spoke very little English. I brushed it off until I overheard him telling one of his buddies he preys on them specifically because they're desperate for friends and it makes it easier to sleep with them. He would consistently ask me and the other girl in the house about our sex lives. He asked me to guess how many women he slept with, and anytime I left my room after a few hours, he'd ask if I was naked/masturbating/sexting and if that was why my door was closed. After I told him to stop, he replaced all this with, I would make a joke right now, but I'm gonna bite my tongue like a gentleman. So he's just like, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Pretty mature. I like a good sex joke myself, but is it really the time to ask a dumb perverted question every time someone closes their door? Presumably so they don't have to listen to him doing whatever he's doing in the living room. I'd also like to think he was wearing the Akatsuki robe to impress his new roommates. Wow, this is already a lot to absorb. I had to move my gaming system out of the common room because he had somehow played every game I chose and would sit there and give me a detailed walkthrough of what to do next, without me asking, and then tell me I should be grateful he's there. The smell became a real issue. If he'd sit on the couch for an hour, the whole downstairs would smell. My roommates and I tried to drop hints by lighting candles, opening windows, complaining about a noxious smell, but nothing worked. I saw him purchase a container of Tide Pods at the beginning of the semester, and it sat unopened in the laundry room for the entire semester. Don't think he ever did laundry. Made it a habit to watch hentai loudly in the living room, claiming he only did it because he found it funny. I only caught a couple of accidental glimpses, but they all looked pretty rapey to me. He hated going to the grocery store, so he offered to pay us back plus extra if we would do his shopping for him. This didn't last long. He would write very general things like butter, chocolate donuts, creamer, and then snap at us for getting the wrong kind. Would always talk about how he was so smart that no one else could do anything right, and he would just have to do it himself. He would go on Tinder dates, never get a second one, and then ask me, as a girl, why girls don't like him. Not even sure why he asked, because he had already come up with all these theories that women settle for me who are conventionally attractive and are not truly happy. Additionally, he couldn't find a girl that would allow him to have sex with whoever he wanted while she remained devoted to him. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to screen someone before you live with them. Alright, so the backseat gaming sounds like one of the most annoying things I can possibly imagine. I also like the grocery shopping bit. I really hope the author told him to fuck off and get his own shit after the first time he did it, cause I sure would've. Do you believe this one, viewers? I think I do. It had some non-standard details to it. Oh right, watching hentai in the living room where his 2 female roommates can walk in, for laughs. Yeah, that's believable. Anyway, there's time for another story, so let's read this one. The Starbucks Beard. No, it's not about Lucas, sadly. Now, I specifically made this account so I could post this story. While it doesn't quite fit into the parameters of a true Neckbeard tale, I still want to share it. I haven't really found a Reddit creepy stories for just regular non-Neckbeard people. But he definitely has some attributes that I think fit the description. So I've been working at Starbucks for some time now, and when I just started, I had recently turned 19. I look really young, so people often thought I was younger than my age. They still do. And if you've ever been or worked at coffee shops, you really get used to seeing a lot of the same people every day. The regulars. Some are good, some are bad. But there was this one old man. Let's call him Jack, for the sake of privacy of some sort. Jack was interesting, to say the least. He hung out on our patio, literally from open till close, usually smoking a cigar. He was extremely tall, long white hair, and long-ass white beard, fucked up teeth, reeked of cigarette smoke, and always wore shades, even inside. He didn't wear a fedora, but he did wear a cowboy hat. Sometimes a straw hat, depended on his mood really. He liked to abuse our refill policy, to which if you're not aware, if you buy a regular coffee or a regular tea you get refills for just 50 cents, and if you have a gold card it's essentially free. It's also same store, same visit, so he just sat on the patio and came back at least 10 times a day. I don't remember the last time he paid full price for a coffee, because not even the openers often knew whether or not he was lying. He'd just waltz in and demand a refill, and if you asked him if it was his first, he'd say something like, "Of course it is, duh, I'm always here." It got annoying after a while because my manager became frustrated because nobody ever charged him. It was half our fault though, we were low-key scared to ask him sometimes because he'd get mad at us. So he was notorious for flirting with every woman that ever existed and breathed air on our planet Earth. One of his friends, also our regular, super nice, said that Jack always bragged to him about how he has so many cute Russian girls in his messages and how they all want him. You know, internet girlfriends are like assholes. Everyone has one and they're not real. Wait, I think that analogy got away from me. Let's just get back to it. When I first started, I didn't suspect a single thing. I was just really excited about the job and wanted to be nice and welcoming to everyone. I'm not sure if I naturally give off a flirty vibe or not, or maybe he's just taking it wrong, but he thought I was flirting with him. A girl, half his age or more. Ridiculous. It started out nice. I thought he was just being like a grandpa, nice, you know? Thought he was a sweet old man just trying to be funny. He'd say things like, "Oh, I could just eat you right up with your chubby cheeks," which was weird, but I just brushed it off thinking it was the age gap thing. Because older women often say such things. Yeah, that is a very strange thing to say from anyone who isn't an 80-year-old woman. He started calling me honey every time he'd come in. He'd just walk through the door and go, "Hi, honey." My boyfriend didn't like that. He thought it was super strange some weird old man at work spoke to me that way. I just told him to relax and that it wasn't a big deal. Little did I know, one time, late at night before close, he came in and started saying weird things like, "You're too pretty to work here. You need a better paying job that won't get your hands dirty. I'm starting a business, and when you get hired there, and you will, I'll take care of you." That was my first red flag. I thought it was a little strange. Fast forward a few months, he waltzes in yet again, being all weird and shit. Now the whole honey thing got really annoying. I began to be creeped out but didn't want to say anything because I wasn't sure. But this proved everything for me. I usually wear glasses, but then I wore contacts and I looked somewhat different. He complimented my eyes and said, "Your eyes are so gorgeous, and you are too. I could wife you right up and take you to Kentucky with me." That was it. I was not happy with that. I just kind of laughed awkwardly and shrugged, saying I had a fiancé. He got visibly upset. "You have a fiancé? No way." Like he was actually upset. Either that or I can't read people. No, I didn't have a fiancé, I just had a boyfriend. I'm not sure why I said that. It just kind of came out. Then a few days later, my boyfriend came to visit me, as he usually does, and Jack wouldn't stop staring at him. He had his shades on, of course, but you could still tell. He then comes up to me later and asks if that was my fiancé. I say yes, he just exhales and does like a weird-ass sound and leaves. Later that day, my other really nice regular comes in that is friends with him, so I bring it up to him and say how uncomfortable it was when he said he'd wife me up, and I know I only mentioned it here once, but it happened multiple times. I just don't remember the exact wording. Let's call the other regular Bill. Bill heard me out and said, yeah, he always talks about how he has so many Russian girls like you that want to hook up with him. I was grossed out, honestly. He leaves and I forget about this for a minute. The next day, Bill comes in and pulls me aside and he says, so I brought it up to Jack how he needs to stop flirting with you and he said you're lying. He said he never ever said anything of the sort. So he straight up denied saying creepy shit to a random ass barista. Fucking marvelous. I was so angry. Like, how are you going to be such a scumbag? Of course, Bill believed me instead, and shortly after that he stopped coming in for a little while. It wasn't at all bad, or so it seems, but it made me extremely uncomfortable. Like, I knew I was in a position where I couldn't stand up for myself because it would easily blow up in my face. Like, had I accused him of being creepy, he'd easily be able to defend himself and say he was just being nice. I know this ain't exactly Neckbeard stories, but I just needed to share. I know they might not always mind, but I feel like it's probably a better idea just not to hit on women at work at all. I mean, they kind of have to put up with you to an extent, so it's not exactly fair. That doesn't mean you should leave them a nice note, either. So hard not to make Lucas references when we're talking about Starbucks. Could you imagine being the old man who hangs out at Starbucks for all day, every day, and just hits on anyone who walks in? Please let me never become that guy. But hey, we're going over to Reddit Just Neckbeard Things to cover a few posts before wrapping this video up. 1 out of 10. The behavior exhibited in this show makes us weaker as a species. I watched 1.2 episodes of this anime. It is bad. Very bad. It's like the feminist wet dream. Weak men and domineering women. I'm getting angry watching this. Wake up, Japan. This is why your males are considered women to the rest of the world. LOL, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. The samurai spirit you're proud of, this is what kills it. I am well aware this is hyperbolic, but it makes my point. It's not good writing. This is a fetish, not a series. The series he was reviewing was apparently Toradora, which I have never watched, so no references incoming or anything. This next one is titled, This Dude's Comment on a Woman's Post About Her Trauma Related to Receiving Oral Sex Due to Her Past Abusive Relationship. Oh boy, here we go. Darling, as long as you're clean and healthy, and for me, not having overly removed your natural girl scent, there's nothing in the world that's more pleasurable than going down on your beautiful, fluffy lady garden. 48 hours worth of scent buildup is just perfect, neither too overpowering nor too bland. I can stay down there for hours at a time and literally lick you dry. Delicious. Good fucking god, did he read that out loud before he sent it? I feel like people should maybe do that more often. I never do it on purpose. I always feel self-conscious and adjust my clothes to minimize camel toe. I always find it super embarrassing. But sometimes it happens anyway and I can't help it. Camel toes are beautiful though. Don't go ashamed of that beautiful flower you got blossoming when you want to wear some yoga pants. Yeah, that's not going to make her feel even more self-conscious about it. Great comment. Okay, last post. I gotta get out of here and figure out tomorrow's video. Oh god, do I want to know? I'm gonna be straight with you here. The reason I messaged you in the first place was reading through some of your tweets as happy and cheerful as you have out them. There are a few little subtle hints that you're not as happy as you want people to believe, and so I'm here not to pry or to make you feel uncomfortable, so apologies if I have already. But I'm here to try and help you feel better about yourself and try to help you a little however I can. Oh god, person that I don't know, please stay out of my personal life and mental health. I can handle those things myself, thanks. Okay, that last part was a lie. But that is about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please consider leaving a like. If you have something to say about neckbeards, or me I guess, let me know in the comments, because the algorithm loves comments. If you're new here and want more, subscribe because there will be more. Hopefully a lot more. Thanks also to my patrons. You might notice I say bad words. Yes, I lose a lot of money over it. Patreon helps me make up for it a little. I'm currently leaning towards Reddit relationships tomorrow, but let me know if there's something you like a lot more that I cover. I might end up doing something else. Well, have a great day, everyone, and don't let your roommate get away with watching hentai in the living room. Shit's ridiculous.